think I've explained it before, but I looked up the THF and what THF meant, and I had no idea. And
Yeah,
it came up as Trigger Happy Family. I don't know if that's a well-known acronym, but I'm like, how can I make this
yeah.
guy as gangster as possible? So
That makes a lot of sense. I like Back in Black with the AC/DC shirt and the guitar.
that was a very, very good one. Um,
Yeah.
Back in Black says about the other semi-final, I can't cast it, is on the old patch. Um, I think this one might also be on the old patch, but we're going to try and do our best to cast and hope there's no crashes, which is a distinct possibility. Putting it out there. But I had a little check to see if it would run, and it seems as though that it will. So just hope that is the case going going forward. But yeah, give it a try Back in Black and see if it works for you.
I
Yeah,
booted
but
up game one, and it loaded up. And I do believe I think it was Fluffy Bunny that was telling me that they made CA cross compatible with the old patches to the new ones.
mm,
Like, so they made it so that you can still cast older games, which is pretty cool that they've done it. Like, obviously, I don't think it like the replays on Age would work, but if you booted it up on CA, I think it might still work with the
mm.
older ones. But yeah, I know that they were working. Capture Age were working on something on the lines of that, which is good of them to do that because there's some really old games that are really good and they can't be cast. I
That's
know that I had a set on a tournament and it was one of the best sets I've done, and
and nobody
yeah,
could cast it.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I hate it when that happens, eh?
Oh,
Um,
it was masterpiece too. It was just
well,
yeah.
yeah, let's see if they've been able to do it. And Back in Black says, okay, the problem is that you need to export them before, I think, is what he says. Anyway, who knows how this all behind the scenes capture. I'm just here to cast, and I'm hoping that'll work. And I've got my fingers crossed. That's as far as the knowledge and my technical ability is just to cross my fingers. So we're going to rely on that. But yeah, I hope you can cast it Back in Black because it would be a shame if it doesn't work because, it's just a fact of life, I guess, as patches come out and things break and doesn't quite work. But got my fingers crossed for you as well there. But yeah, do you have the draft ready to go? As I'll bring it up myself as well.
Yep. Yep.
Perfect. So it's gonna start with the maps, and I'm loving it already. These are my maps. No closed maps whatsoever, apart from Fortify Clearing and the admin. And that's the best closed map, I would say, in my opinion. I think Zong has been fun, but it's not my favorite map, I would say. It plays very long and
Yeah.
quite boring at the beginning, I think. So I'd love to see Fortify Clearing as the closed map, but want to point out Jungle Swamp. I basically have seen it once this entire tournament. I've cast a lot of games. I've only seen it once. And it's a pick for real THF, so maybe he's trying to catch Gearbear off guard here. What's your take for Jungle Swamp?
Um, I'm not too sure because, I think THF has practice on it, but Gearbear might have practiced it in the back of the scenes, maybe. So I'm
Mm.
not too sure where it will happen. Like for me, example was Shoals. Like someone like right will pick Shoals, and it just so happens that I happen to be practicing on it because I thought one of my opponents would pick it on me, and it turned out not the opponent, but the opponent after that picked it. So that could it's a bit of an unknown. I do believe real THF will have be strong on that map, but you never know. It could be Gearbear might have something in the works for that.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, the one time I have seen it was Alpha Crit played it, but it has more fish in the middle than Acropolis. So the middle water can play a little more important than Acropolis, which only has 2 deep fish in it. So I'm really interested in that map because I haven't seen it that much. But another map I haven't seen much at all, maybe twice, is Ravines. And I don't know why in particular, because I think it's a great map. But haven't seen that map all too often either.
Yeah, I think Ravines. I think the reason why it doesn't get picked is because it's way too open.
Yeah.
People find it hard to wall, and a lot of people like if you invest in walls a lot, especially on that map. Like if someone's going for a a small wall, they're gonna have a lot more army on the field if they use and be able to push them early on
Yeah.
if they do that. So it is risk, give or take. No matter what you do, there's quite a lot of risk on that map. So it is a risky map to pick. So I think for the reason why you don't see it so often.
Yeah.
I like you said, I enjoy that map. That's one of my favorites out of the tournament.
I think this might be my perfect combination of maps if I'm being honest. Because Shoals is banned and I think that's a good map, but I've seen it a lot and I see Italians on that map every single time. Zong is banned. It's not my favorite map. I've seen Rocky Forest a lot as well. So I feel like these are the lesser popular maps, but I think they all have good games. Cross can be chaotic. Ravines can play aggressive. Evacuation is obviously just a weird map in general because I just haven't seen it
Love
before.
evacuation.
Evacuation is my favorite.
Evacuation's I love it. It's just there's so much stuff that goes into that, like and it definitely rewards creative plays and stuff like that because you have to be creative because you've got to evacuate pretty much. So you've got to go outside of the meta to kind of make your transition quite safe, whether it be walls or towers or stuff like that. So
100%. And sorry, back in black and saying, who is your co-caster? I should have done an appropriate introduction. I just kind of launched straight into it, but it is Scrappy Coco, aka Grapejuice. What division were you playing in this season again?
I was in Pebble.
Pebble. And you got to the quarterfinals, is that correct?
Yeah, and then I was tired that day and played really bad. But that's all good. But that's all good. I'm happy I made it to the quarters. I think that's still pretty good feat.
I think that I mean that was my goal for the whole tournament when I played is just get the quarterfinals and everything after that is gravy. And that's exactly what happened to me. I got quarterfinals and then I bombed out against a much better player.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. But yes, let's have a look at these civs and see how they match up against the maps. So I'm seeing already on the side of Real THF, both the Mongols and Georgians got through the bans and he's picked them. And these are probably the 2 most contested civs of the whole tournament. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I think Mongols, is one of the, even if the player doesn't really play it, it doesn't take much for anyone to play that civilization. So it is to me was to ban it. Although some people feel quite comfortable versing him, I have a higher win rate against the Mongols, even though I do ban him. But yeah, I think it's just you just get one, even if they have a little bit of Mongol experience, you can kind of pull some pretty cool, well, pretty easy stuff off. So yeah, I
Uh,
think banning him is quite a good choice.
I think in the stats, they might even have a 50% win rate because I feel like players practice against them a lot, and then you're like, okay, I've got to get into my Mongols mindset. What am I going to do? You get like ultra prepared for it, so you kind of get into the mindset of playing against Mongols, I reckon. But having said that, Ravines, I think there's a lot of deer on Ravines, and I think it's a perfect open-ish kind of map for them too. So expecting them to play there if they get picked. And then the Georgian, sorry if I just flip back to the map, could be, could even be fortified clearing because they got such a great economy with the fortified churches, but obviously highly mobile at the same time. Could be jungle swamp. Could be any of these maps really. They're just probably so OP that they can go anywhere.
Honestly, with Georgians, and I know it probably is a bit different, but evacuation, because you start off with the the cart, and to get over to the other side's quite easy with the mule cart and stuff like that.
True.
And you got the wood savings too, which anything to do with that map and wood savings is quite powerful, whether it be, houses like with Incas or, with the mule cart. I know with the mule cart I've had builds where I can go 19 pop and double, you know, double, you know, dock and get double fire ships out on a 19 pop quite easy with that, just with the wood savings themselves. So, yeah, I think it might, it'd be a good evacuation one, I reckon. Or yeah, yeah, even cross even would be good because you don't need to contest too much.
I reckon I'm hoping, I got my fingers crossed that Gearbear has chosen Armenians. We could get mule cart versus mule cart on evacuation, which would be pretty funny. Both taking the same advantage.
Definitely.
But yeah, we do have Cross. Cross is my favorite map of all time. Love that map. Simple, but just love the way that it plays. And we've got Persians and Italians for Gearbear. That would be great on that map. And for REALTHF, I reckon Lithuanians or maybe even Malay or Vietnamese, actually. Any of those three would be great there with Lithuanians getting a resource bump when they get to the next stage. I think that's how it works. And then Vietnamese wood savings, to get the free, not free, they have wood discount on their eco upgrade, so you can still do that and get fishing ships. And then Malay, they just go up fast, right? It's a chaotic map. If you kind of get the advantage early on with a quick uptime, you can kind of take advantage of that. And then
Malay's are pretty versatile, can pretty much play on any of those maps. Yeah. I'd like to see them on fortified clearing for me.
Yeah.
That's just me because of the way I play that particular map.
Well, thinking about this actually, because I know that you play Malay quite aggressively on fortified clearing or arena, I do notice that Ethiopians is banned. And I will say twice in this tournament, we've seen an Ethiopian ram and Shotel rush. One of them succeeded gloriously, I guess you could say, and the other one failed miserably. So actually, no, we've seen it 3 times actually. Two succeeded and 1 failed. So I'm just thinking if REALTHF has banned it because he knows that it's a popular strategy on these close maps. I don't know if Gearbear's tried it before, if he's, because I haven't cast him since the group stage, but yeah, it's been played quite a lot.
Yeah, even Vietnamese would be good on fortified clearing.
Definitely.
They're a good closed map. They've got BBC and Rattan Archers, which if you look at all the civilizations on the table on the opposite side, like you got Cav and that, and yeah, I reckon it'll destroy most of those civs. To be honest, the Vietnamese are pretty insane. Maybe Bohemians, they might struggle. They might struggle late game, but every civ, every civ. But yeah, I think for Gearbear, Bohemians would be a good pick for fortified clearing.
Definitely. Yeah, they've been played a lot on Zong, which is even more close. That's where they kind of really excel, but definitely can play them on fortified clearing as well. But
Good
yeah,
on cross too.
oh, I mean, if you can get to that fast castle with hand cannoneers, that takes people off guard, whether you can get there or not. Um,
I didn't
that
want to play fish one day, so I just wagon rushed it and won.
the good old wagon rush.
Yep.
It's funny, we've got all these, the elephant in the room is that we've got all these new civs on the card. But I still think some
Yep.
of these relatively released civs, like Bohemians, they're still crazy as well. Like, sometimes I can't believe I'm like, oh, I've got like 5 wagons on the edge of my base. What am I going to do? And this is so weird. It's not Age of Empires. So there's like still these newish civs where I'm still kind of figuring them out and, yeah, still adapting.
Yep.
But yeah, let's get into the games, I reckon. We got Gearbear on the Tudens. I don't think I've seen them all tournament. One of the OG civs, and I know they have a farming bonus or a wood savings on farms, something to do with farms. I know they do good paladins. They can't get converted very easily, but my mind is a little bit hazy on the old Tudens. But on the other side, REALTHF, we've got Lithuanians. I'm more up to date with them because I see them a lot. And the main thing is the relics. I do like to see them picked on fortified clearing because of how many relics there are. If you can get a lot of them, you can get that great bonus on the cavalry, 1 attack per relic. That's the main thing that comes to mind for me for them. I know they have faster spearmen as well, so you can kind of contest the middle with spears. Yeah, just a good all-round kind of cavalry div. But yeah, what do you think of these picks? You know, maybe specifically Tudens. What are you seeing with them?
I think going into a boom game would probably be with the Teutons would be a good idea. Yeah, just playing defensively. Maybe even try and see if you can get some, early walls out, like towards the edge of the map, so you can get a bit of control and just play defensively while you boom to get the make use of your farming bonus. You've got BBC and good monks and stuff like that, so maybe even trying to contest the relics, or maybe monk siege knight push, monk pike siege push would be good. And then just try and, as you're doing that, get the relics in. But for the Lithuanians, I think trying to get those relics in as quick as you can would be ideal. So then your knights and laters have that extra attack. But yeah, for a monk war would be really good for the Teutons, as they've got the 55% conversion risk and conversion resistance. So trying to maybe force the Lithuanian into a monk war would be a good option.
Yeah.
And a siege push. And yeah, just whilst doing that, just try and get a good boom going at home at the same time. I think would be the play for that.
I'm thinking as well though, so could this be playing into Lithuanian hands, right? Because if Lithuanians want to invest in the mid game and feudal and castle age, trying to secure relics and stuff like that, do you need to kind of contest that with a bit of aggression or matching the resource investment so that they don't get the relics? Whereas I feel like Tudens would kind of sit back and try to boom, and that kind of might play into Lithuanians' hands, I think, potentially.
Yeah. Good. I think the key thing is with the Teuton is trying to deny relics. Is late when it hits late game. 1, they get the gold, and 2, their knights are just gonna wreck everything if they got 5 or 6 plus attack kind of thing.
Yeah.
So relic control will be quite key for both players, I think. And yeah, because you got the farming bonus, you can maybe even just go into a good monk siege pike push earlier on might be good.
Maybe.
Because Teutons can do that quite well.
Well, they can also support it maybe with a tower on the edge of the walls or something. I don't know if that's meta anymore. But, you know, it was for a little bit. I remember a lot of games where you'd tower rush these weaker walls in feudal age and attack it with a few men-at-arms and break through. Haven't seen it for a while though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think, or even a castle drop strat would be good for the Teutons as well. That'd be another good one. Yeah, maybe even could be doing that. Teutonic Knights. But they can be converted quite easily. That's the only issue with Teutonic Knights.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see him.
You're going.
Sorry. Yeah, I see him feudal from real THF. So I think he's gonna go into more of a. From the looks of this, it looks like he's going into more of a like a real fast castle into like a push. I think.
I think both players are, because they both went up at around 24 and 25 pop. So again, I'm no closed map player. I'm more of a chaotic map player. But from what I know is that if you're not going up at like 20 pop, you got up at 25. You're thinking of the quick castle, aren't you?
Yeah, 25's good for if you're, so 25, 26 is good for your like your 3 TC. Like if you go full meta, you do the blacksmith and if you're running it perfectly, blacksmith and the stable, and then 3 TCs, and as you're booming up, then go for scouts. 23 is usually aggressive castle.
I've got on the side here at the moment, I got player ID 1-0. So, you know, just patch things, and then player ID 2-0 if it's player 1 and 2. But it's not saying Gearbear or real THF.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see what funny things come up with this semi-incompatible download for capture range. I do want to say, actually, and I've noticed this for a while as we see real THF got the castle already, is we've got 2 golds in the very top corner, northern corner, for Gearbear, which could be quite beneficial if he utilizes that and protects that. And then for real THF, he's got the 2 golds in the back on each side. So I think that's a bit of an advantage for Gearbear there if he can utilize that.
The bottom south for real THF, you've got a stone and a gold and a relic, which would be really good for him.
True.
Yep. So even if you wall off to that, you know, where the double tree line is, or even where that wolf is, because that's a pretty close distance.
Yep.
Would be really good for the real THF. Like to have a little bit extra because your PCs would be relatively close to there, so you want your wall a little bit away. And that's a good castle hill for a castle too.
True.
You can have wall castle there, and that would be a good defensive position for real THF.
Got the scouts meeting at the gate in the top there for a little bit, but each decide to go on their own way. And Gearbear, well, both players actually going for the full wall at the back, which, you know, good strategy, because I know when I've played this map, somebody's come around the back and produced a stable and a tower, and it's just so annoying whenever you see that.
Yeah. And the thing is too, if you wall like that and someone does decide to put all that investment and then it doesn't work, they're in a really bad position because they've got stables where they don't need them. And
Yeah.
on top of that, the villager idle time walking there. So it's a win-win for the walls. A lot of the pros did it, but yeah, I think walling's pretty meta on this map. I reckon it's a good idea. This
But-
map's in the map pool too.
For what? Sorry.
This map's going to be in the team game map pool soon.
Oh,
Next one,
gotcha.
which is exciting.
Yeah, actually, I don't even know if I've seen it on a team game because I've only seen it on 1v1, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it. I just saw it when I was voting today, which is awesome to see.
That'll be fun.
I'm glad it's coming to rank. It needs to. It's a great map, fantastic map.
Well, we're definitely floating the idea about having a team game day every week or something like that, or at least something consistent where we get together and have team games. I know for me, I have to plan everything way in advance, having a family and a job. So if I know Tuesday's the team game day, then I'm like, all right, I can set that aside and I can do that. But yeah, we'd love to have a team game kind of day.
That'd be cool. Yep, I think so too.
We do see Gearbear get to the 3TC a bit quicker than REALTH. He's only gone for the 2, which makes me think well, I guess he might be investing his resources in the middle here for these monks. And yeah, just focusing on relics, which is totally fair. But having said that, Gearbear also has a lot of monks, and he's got 2 relics in his hot little hands.
I like how Gearbear took the initiative of, right, let's get the scout out straight away, get the monastery out. I do like this build, and that's the beauty about the Teutons with the 3TC. It's pretty strong to just go into 3TC boom with the Teutons because of the wood savings.
See a little ring
get
around the rosy here with Spearman and the monk. Yeah, that's not... But it delays enough for the relic on the side for Gearbear to get that. So he's cruising here with the relics.
Definitely, he's done a great job. But he's got 3. He's bringing his 4th one in now. Real THF hasn't even got 1 in yet. So yeah, he's doing a fantastic job. Real THF has a little bit of a veil lead, but that's not going to be. That won't be for long. He's got 25 farms to 17 farms.
Yeah.
And climbing.
And
So,
look at this 4th TC on the side here as well.
yeah. Yep. It's good because now that he's got his four relics, yeah, there's a couple here, and he's already going for these ones. This is fantastic from Gearbear. This is great work. This is how you play Teutons, really. If you can get away with running around with monks like this, this is your ideal position to be in a Teuton player. Because their boom's the best boom in the game, especially on a closed map by far. That pit farms are great.
Yeah, so their farms are cheaper, right? That's their bonus?
Yeah, so their farms cost 40 wood.
Right. So this is how he's able to produce 30 farms this quickly. Because it's just easier to get to.
Yep, definitely. Yep, and you can afford the TC a bit easier going up with a fast uptime as well. Which, yeah.
Yeah, this is incredible. Why don't we see Teutons more? Because now I'm thinking, wow, this is really powerful. Or at least the way that Gearbear is executing it. He's doing a superb job.
I think the reason why is because of a lot of the clown strats. It takes a bit for Teutons to kind of get to their power thing, and yeah, like it's getting to the stage. I mean, yeah, Gearbear's like you can get to this, but it's if you get a lot of clans like go on arena and do this, and you'll get like a siege monk push from a Bohemian player or something like that, then you're in a real pickle. But in this case, because you have pretty much gotten away with it, like no pressure, it's turned out really well. So I think that's the reason why we don't see him so often, and a lot of their units are slow, which can be quite hard. I
Yeah.
think that's probably why we don't see them as often as we usually do. But they are a good civilization. They're fantastic. But yeah.
I do think the Teutonic Knight, as famous as that unit is in the history of Age of Empires, compared to all the crazy unique units that you have now, it's just a little underwhelming and doesn't have that great of a use case. Like if I just toss a unit from the top of my head, right? Like if you do humans on Arena, which is not unheard of, you got the kit check, amazing, amazing.
Yep.
Or Bohemians, you got the wagon, you can do amazing things with that.
Yeah.
You know, all these other unique units have really interesting parts to them, whereas I think the Teutonic Knight, I just don't think, even if, I'll be surprised if we see it on this game. I think he'll probably just go into Knights and Helm or something, and not go for the unique unit. So it's kind of like you're a unique unit down in a way.
Yep. I think if you're gonna play Teutonic Knights, play 'em with Rams, because then that gives them the mobility, and then like you do with Spearmen, but with TKs, Ram and with Iron Cladding as well. They're a very niche unit, but if you can use them like that, I had a Britain player and did that because Britons can't do, pretty much can't deal with Rams very well. I pushed a Britain player with TKs and the Rams. The Rams give them mobility and coverage from arrow fire and stuff like that. They can do quite well. They are a good, but yeah, like you said, they're pretty they're a bit underwhelming on their own. They're not that great.
We did see 100% agree, but we did see a red villager inside the base of Real THF. Not quite sure how he got there. Real THF tried to convert it, and Gearbear decided to delete him. So, don't quite know what happened there. But he is trying to wall the sides of these maps. He's going to do so on the left side, but on the right side it's a little bit more harder with the scouts running around. So, and actually we're also going to see a contest for the middle with castles, but Gearbear is there much earlier than Real THF.
Yeah. Gearbear's in a fantastic position. He's in a very good position. He's got a couple of 14 more vills or something like that, and climbing. He's got the imp climbing, and he's got his conscription going down. Like the forward production which he's bringing. I think with this probably a little bit more forward production, but he might go into hand cannon straight off the bat, which I think's quite good. But we are seeing siege workshops.
I think that's going to be chemistry is coming in, so I think we're thinking bombard cannon. We've got Halb and Knight.
Yep.
Oh, and actually, I forgot all about this, about the unique castle. So we get to see the unique castle of the Lithuanians. I've not pre-looked at any of these castles either, so all of these are going to be a surprise for me. And that looks incredible.
Looks awesome. I love the aesthetics.
It's so good. I just love that they've done it for free. What a gift. It's just the little things that make the game, I reckon. Actually, we're going to see the wall for Gearbear didn't go down on the left or the right, so we're going to see the walls actually go in the favour of Real THF, but does it even matter, because pushing up the middle is going to be pretty hard to stop for Real THF.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. Only got 3 relics to what's called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 relics for Gearbear, which is really good. Cavalier's coming in now. So we're going to probably see Toot and Paladin, which will be good.
I reckon with Lithuanians as well, like it's kind of quite predictable, isn't it? Like if you're going up against a Halb Civ as Lithuanians, they're just going to go for help because
Yeah.
they know that you're going to go for cat.
Yeah.
And I feel like the
And
transition away from Cav never really eventuates whenever you see this.
and I think Teutons have got extra bonus for the infantry armor, so while they are speedy, I think the Teuton Halbs will do quite well against the Lithuanian Halb and the cavalry as well. So I think the way Gearbear's played this is pretty well perfect. Exactly
And
what you want to be doing.
he let the halberdiers in as well. So all the knights that he was trying to accumulate just, you know, he ran them into them and now they're gone. You had to forego the treb and not let these halbs in because now they're running around your economy, not really killing anything very quickly, but they will eventually.
Yeah. It's good to see a good old halb raid in. I like raiding with halbs. It's good fun. Probably not the most optimal thing, but it is the most funnest of raids.
They're doing the job.
But,
And when this castle goes
Please.
down, it's going to be nothing left for the defense.
Yep, I think it'll be GG soon. I don't think Gearbear can stop this. Like, you've got once you hit BBC and you have no castles, it's pretty well GG for the opponent.
I haven't seen much expansion onto the sides either, and you know, sometimes if you lose your main base on this map, you know, as long as you've kind of gone around to the sides, you could bring it back potentially. Unlikely, of course, but it's possible.
Yeah.
But haven't seen that from REALTHF yet. But I think he is trying to transition into archers, which is the correct transition to make. I think. But obviously he doesn't have the production buildings for it, doesn't have the upgrades for it. Well, he's got bracer, but he doesn't have any of the armor yet, and it's just going to come too late.
Yep. And Gearbear's transitioning into paladins, so that will wipe out. So and he's already figured out, which is good from Gearbear, that alright, okay, what's the next transition that my opponent's gonna do? Archers, because of what I've got. Okay, I'll go, you know, paladin and go cavalier paladin.
Yeah.
Which is a really good combination, which will defeat the skirms, defeat any archers that come out, and the BBC on top of that. This is textbook play from Gearbear.
Yeah, I was gonna say actually it wasn't even the archers, it was skirms, so they're super susceptible to paladins here.
Yeah.
But you know, REALTHF might just be holding on here just to make sure he gets into the rhythm of the game for the next one. You know, held on for a little bit longer than, you know, I think he knew he probably lost for a while there, but you gotta get into the feel of the game. Game one's always really hard.
Yep.
All right, that was a flawless game from Gearbear as I put him up 1-0. All right. Oh, this is a classic hunt off. Goths versus Mongols. The War of the Hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting, so I should say Gearbear's on the Goths. Just looking around, there is a lot of deer on this map actually, so this does make sense. I had thought ravines originally, but sorry, Goths is on, they get extra from boars, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
so
they do. I think they also have a hunt base in the state, but don't quote me on it. I might be wrong. I'm not too familiar on the golf tech tree, but I do like the golf pick here. I think the Goths are quite good. Would be good here.
Yeah, and
got-
Mongols, of course, as well with the deer I should mention. So yeah, that's what that's why I was saying War of the Hunt. But yeah, your thoughts on Goths?
The cheap halves would be good for like if any have play. Plus you got CA for the Goths. Goth CA is quite good. It also CA counter Manganite quite well, which is really good. So I think Goths are like they're very niche, but they can be quite good. I reckon this is a good matchup for the Goths. I reckon, to be honest. They've got cheap power, which I mean, if they lose a 20, like doesn't matter. Yeah, just depends how you play them, I suppose. But I think even matchup. I think, but yeah.
Yeah, so again, I say this whenever I see Franks, whenever I see Goths. I'm like, I hate this civ because they used to dominate me on the rank ladder when I was learning, because they would do things where I'd be like, I have no idea how to counter the same thing. Same thing with Mongols actually, is going Mangadai. How do I kill Mangadai? I have no idea. But
FC step dances into mangonels, stuff like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
Back in Black is still in the chat, and I think he would know about that a lot. I think because he loves his step lancer rushes. I'm sure he is probably a fan of the Mongols, so he can tell us. But are we thinking that this is? I forget the unique unit. What's the unique unit called again?
Huskar.
Huskar. Are we thinking? We're thinking Huskars for this. With direct counter to Mangadai because they can take a lot of arrows, or is that a little bit silly because they're a bit slow and Mangadai are fast?
I think for late game it would be good. Like once you get the spam going and the eco going, I think early game I don't think it'd be good because then you got to produce the castle, which already puts a dent in your eco. So I think maybe doing something in between that, then maybe going Huskar late game like a tech switch, because they'll be wanting to go whatever counters for the CA, which would probably be like Scorpion or like archers or something like that. And then as they do the transition for that, then go into Huskar, which you're already in the late game. Get fusion and then just do the Goth spam.
Yeah.
But it's just I think CA would be good because it's quite an easy transition in the early game. It's just I think Goths are very in a way limited, but in a way not limited. In so respective. So.
Well, I'd be interested because personally I think it has to be something, right? Because I don't think you want to let Mongols freely get into Mangadai. So I think
100%.
the pressure is on Gearbear to do something, whatever that something is. Has to be something. So we don't get, 2 castles produced in Mangadai, 100% kind of thing. So maybe something to take real THF off stone, so that he can't get to the castle. Would like to see that.
Which I think CA will do quite well for that, because you got the mobility, so you can't freely take resources when there's a high mass of CA. I do think it'll be a scout opening for both players. I do believe.
Both have barracks, so they can quickly do the buildings as soon as they get there. Interestingly, nothing on water. So what I was saying with water at the start of the game, it's not going to be important at all because there'll be no competition there. Got the stable on both sides. So 100% right.
scouts. If you're going into CA, scouts, you feel opening's really good for scouts because then you can transition into your farms, which gives you your eco to naturally get all your upgrades. So realistically, what you want to be is like 16 farms with horse collar, and about going up at about 35 vils. And gold mining comes in. As it all comes in, then you can get everything all at once, all your essential upgrades, bloodlines,
Yeah.
husbandry, all that jazz. I do like this, and you can produce a few extra spears because they're cheap as. That's the beauty about the Goths.
Mm.
You can actually get 4 spearmen and it doesn't do much to your eco. Gives you a good defense, especially against a Mongol player that's going to scout rush. So I like this play from Gearbear. This is fantastic.
Yeah, well, actually hasn't produced any scouts yet. He's gone for the 4 spearmen, so he's going to play into the defensive style, which, yeah, don't hate.
Yep.
And yeah, here they come, and they're going to see spearmen right away and be pushed off the notion of attacking. And there's really no villages exposed. I guess these llamas were exposed and they got slaughtered. So that's unfortunate. Yeah. So real THF, maybe he's trying to he's stepping up his game. He lost the first game quite decisively, so maybe he's in the headspace of I got to do absolutely everything, even if it is killing a couple of alpaca underneath the town center.
Yep.
We've got spearmen defending that wood line, causing a bit of idle time, but nothing too major. More hits, so classic stuff. Spear defense and scout attack, but what is real THF doing behind this? The perfect thing for Mongols is not necessarily that you're killing any villages, is that all of the attention is in Gearbear's base, meaning that you can go up to these deer and hunt them without threat. I think that's what you want to do with the Mongols. You just want to spread out as far as possible, getting all the hunt, getting all the resources. And, if you're in your enemy's base, it's hard to contest that.
Yeah. The real THF looks like they're both about to hit the castle, and I do like, he has done a lot of hunt, and that's done quite well. The resource collected in favour of real THF, but I do like long-term eco setup for Gearbear, as he's got 10 farms. That's kind of to be expected with the pressure and the amount of spears he's made, but like I said, like the cheap spears are quite good, and yeah, so, and he's got the stable. He hasn't produced anything out of it, so that tells me CA.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you'll need that.
I agree, and I think the Mongols are always I totally agree with the eco setup for Gearbear. The 10 farms and the gold, and I think he's not going on berries anymore. He's actually going to stone, which makes me think he's thinking of a castle. But the Mongols' economy always perplexes me because whenever I lose them, I look back at their base and they're like, they got no farms. Where's their eco? It's because if they go straight manga diet, it's all wood and gold, isn't it? You don't need that many farms. And you're like, I had them on economy, but their economy setup is just skewed to wood and gold.
And Magnite don't need much upgrades to kind of be effective. You pretty much need bloodlines and husbandry and fletching, and they're still half decent without barely any upgrades.
Yeah.
As for the CA, kind of need it, and that's why you do need the farming eco. 11 farms, not too bad. It would be fine. His resources are decent enough to get some decent upgrades in, which is good. But Real THF is preemptively making skirmishes, which is good. Because he can probably see that, you know, the base layout spells CA. But we are getting stone, so I think Gearbears might be going CA into Castle Drop and try and end the game early, which I think is a good way of doing it. You don't want Mongols in late game.
No. And having said that, I am a little concerned for real THF in the sense that he's gone for skirms and he's getting step lances, which both require food, of course, and this hunt is going to run out eventually, and there's nothing on stone. So that would tell me that he's not thinking Mangadai. He's thinking this other combination. I think Mangadai is your strongest unit. Me personally, and I'm not a Mongol player, I'd be going for that.
Yeah, I think Mangadai's quite good, but step lancers are another good one that they can go for, I think. But obviously they're you know, you can, as you know, they can be made by other civs, but yeah, I think Gearbear's going into infantry, which could be good. Like for what he's making is actually quite good. Like step lancers and skirmishes. Yeah, Huskulls. In this case, Huskulls and spears would be great for against this army, and maybe get a real good walling defense at home. Which this map looks pretty decent to defend because you got so much choke points, which is actually quite good for the Goths. I do like. The more I look at the map, the more I like the Goth pick. Go into the different things with the Goths here. So I think.
This TC might not go up, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah. This is rough for Gearbear though.
Yeah, this is very
Mongols
rough.
be Mongols.
Yep.
No eco at home. A million step lancers.
Yep.
I mean, I'm happy for THF, but yeah, this just reminds me of why I don't like playing ladder. This stuff.
Do want to quickly appreciate the castle again. Haven't seen it before. I think it looks great. Is it gothic? I think it looks fine.
Yeah, it looks alright. Looks pretty good. I like the flags.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
That is very cool. Got the Huskarls out, but against this army composition, it's not the greatest, is it? I mean, good against skirmishes, of course, but
yeah, I think you need a couple of monks, just with this, just to convert like 3 or 4. Like if you had 4 monks and you could take that fight and convert, you know, 2 or 3 of the step lancers, which they actually convert quite quickly. The steppies, they're actually very easy to convert. I don't know if they've got a conversion like they do with unique units, but I find them quite easy to convert in most of the games I've versed against them. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is that, again, he's not getting any kills. He denied a TC, which is great. You know, getting wood long term could be an issue on this map. So I like the idea for Gearbear to put a TC next to the wood, and he's been taken off that. But it's all about the control, isn't it? Again, it's Mongols in your base, Mongols just booming on their side, and we've got the wood and stone secured by real THF, uncontested. Yes, my wife is coughing up a lung in the background. She's been very sick, and thankfully it hasn't got to me yet. But yeah, actually, I also want to say I think I saw Kafugal in the chat, and I don't necessarily want to play spoilers, but Kafugal was in the semi-final.
Yep.
that has already been played. So, you know, looking at his competition a bit, perhaps.
Yep. Pardon me. But yeah, I think Gearbear's going for the spam, which is risky. But if he has done some pretty risky stuff like the 4 TC beam in the last game.
Yep.
So maybe he might be able to get away with it. And if he does get into golf spam, nothing can really stop golf spam.
No.
Once you get to that stage, that's it. Game over. So, yeah, if Gearbear gets away with that, yeah, I think they haven't got much chances. And late game, I do favour the Goths because they've got bombard cannon, which will destroy like any drill siege or anything like that. Providing you do need a bit of micro for it, but if you kill a million halberdier, which are dirt cheap, like it's not gonna matter if you're taking out gold units. So I think.
So what do you reckon?
Yeah,
Sorry, I was just going to say that I was thinking, should he drop a castle and he's got enough resources to go up to Imperial, which he's clicked now already. So this is exactly what I was thinking of. Get your Imperial, drop your castle, and then start your push as soon as you get to an Imperial, which I think that's the play.
100%.
These Huskars are coming over though.
Yeah, I think they might do alright. I think if the Huskars get rid of the skirmishes, might be good. But yeah, I think Gearbear needs to start spamming military now, or yeah, I don't know. It looks like you can see the score dip. As you can see, the resources are. His holds of production is taking off villages now.
Yeah.
And yeah, here you can see the writing on the wall. Like, look, this is going to be. If you can bank up a heap of stone for Gearbear, I think you'll be alright. Maybe even get yep. Now he's plopping down the barracks. You can good read for Gearbear now. That's a fantastic. Yeah. Right. Okay. My opponent's going to give me a hard push. Let's stop everything. Let's start doing military. And yeah, that's fantastic call. I'd like to see a university plop down.
Yeah.
And maybe a siege workshop and try and get. Because you're not going to win the Treb War, but if you get chemistry in really early and get some bombard cannons, then it can quickly turn the tides.
100%. Yeah, he's definitely going to lose the Treb War. Again, just have a look at the Mongol castle. Incredible. Going to be a little bit of a time adjustment not to see Mangadai coming out of that original Asian style castle. But yeah, he's going to be behind in Trebs. That's 100% for sure because he's already halfway through the first Treb, Real THF. And I just thought I'd mention as well that throughout all of this, we've only seen Gearbear on, have 11, now 12 on gold, where we're seeing 26 currently on gold for Real THF. So, you know, he can spam the spearman for sure. I mean, that's a given. But is he going to be able to pair it with any gold intensive unit? Or, you know, have it for bombard cannon, stuff like that.
I think if Gearbear holds, I think I'd prefer Gearbear's position because of the eco setup long term. But if he doesn't hold, then you lose the game. But because I think this is a bit of a all in into real THF, which I can understand. Like golf spam's insane.
Yeah.
You don't really want that on your doorstep. Spears are coming in.
Yeah, he's just gonna run and try to take out the siege, and you can do that with Goss, of course, with the cheap units. And there's not enough skirmishes here yet to kind of deal with all these helps. So this treb will go down eventually, and advantaged trebs will go back in the way to Gearbear eventually, I think.
Perfect place from Gearbear. Gearbear's putting a masterclass on how to boom and stuff like that, and civ knowledge too. You can definitely tell each civ is this game and the last one that he understands his civs really well and their strengths and weaknesses, and exploiting the most out of them. But yeah, this is really good from Gearbear.
Desperately trying to repair this castle, and he's going for murder holes as well to get spearmen on the edge of the castle. But he's lost quite a few villagers. It looks like he's lost 9. Only got 1 villager now repairing, and 1 treb to 3 now. So that's definitely lost. It's researching chemistry, which should make the castle going down less of an issue, but you don't want to lose your castle, of course. But yeah, three archery ranges producing skirmishes is good, but is it enough for the goth spam?
Yeah. At this point now, this is Confusion Anarchy is coming in now. So
Yeah.
yep, this is looking very rough for real THF. 10-ville lead.
The repairs on the treb as well.
Yep.
Finally goes down.
Yep.
But actually, real THF is expanding on the sides as this is all going on. So, which I love. Thinking of, okay, this is going to late game. I need to secure resources and go for super late, perhaps. Although, yeah, super late for goth is just crazy. This could be a long one. This actually could be quite a long game.
Yeah, I think if Gearbear pushes really hard right now, I think he wins.
Yeah.
Because the eco setup for real THF isn't like got how many farms? You got 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 30 farms to
50.
35, 50 farms. So 50 to 32 farms. I've counted them all and I could look up the top. But yeah, so with that, I think, yeah, which I think Gearbear's getting into the gear of, right, let's start spamming.
Yeah, and now all these spearmen and halberdiers are down, and here come the Huskals, which skirmishes are just fodder for Huskals, aren't they? So I love that he's showing the halberdiers, and then he shows the Huskals, and then he will show the halberdiers if knights come in, and he'll kind of just interchange them.
Yep. Now you'll see a million of these guys running across the map, and you've got no hope in stopping it.
No.
It's yeah, pretty insane.
Defensive castle going up now for real THF, and elite step lance are coming in too, so need that for the Huskals. So I like that. Just got to see if Gearbear continues using the Halb Huskal combo effectively.
We got elite Huskal coming in and Perfusion's just coming in now.
Now it's
going
going
to
to
be difficult.
Yeah.
And the flood begins.
It does look like Mongols get champion, which is usually my response to Huskal, but it's not really the unit you want to go into as Mongols.
Yeah. Like the look of the Huskal these
Yeah.
days. It looks really cool.
I was just thinking actually, so that's the elite upgrade, isn't it? It's changed it.
Yep. Looks awesome.
That's amazing.
I love it how Huskars just don't, like, when they get all their, he's missing one armor, but they can fight underneath castles with low numbers and still take units out.
Yeah. So it would be good if Gearbear mixes in a few halds in here, but the Huskar spam is real. And should still be enough anyway, perhaps.
Yep.
But here they are going for the trebs, so Step Lancers don't mind attacking over the Huskars to get the trebs either, because of the extra range. He's left one treb behind, unfortunately. But he's going to go around the back to get it, so... This castle will... pretty close to going down, but it's likely going to stay up, unless the Huskars can take it down. And now come the Mangadai as well. But Mangadai, you know, terrible against Huskars, of course.
Yeah. One of those... Goths are one of those divs that... There's certain overpowered civs that they just can't really deal with that well, and Goths are one of them.
Yeah.
By far, I reckon. The Huskar and the Spears just play straight into everything that the Mongols want to play in. And a bit of a counter civ.
Look at
like Berbers.
I was just going to say, look at the villager numbers for Gearbear. 150.
Yeah, it's insane.
You know, if you're just throwing your units against the meat grinder, you've always got space to produce more, don't you? So.
Yep. Perfect strat. I think if he just would like to see a bit of full production from Gearbear, just to, you know, reinforce the front a bit quicker.
Yeah.
But the Step Lancers are getting into numbers, and I think it needs to delete villages. Much as the boom is amazing, I think a few villages deleted. I like the castle within the eco is really good. But when it does come into raiding time,
Yeah.
Becomes rough.
Got Huskars coming to the left side of the base while this front push was happening, but Gearbear hasn't protected his trebs, so this castle's is persistently staying. But this raid on these villages, I just feel like the Huskars need to spread out a little bit so that these Step Lancers can't pick them off all in one go and, you know, really impact THF's economy.
I like how he's branched off 4 out over here.
Yeah.
Now you got all these farmers on the mill. And yeah, look at the build numbers now. Now nearly down to under 100.
Yeah, look at that. 80 on food. 80 on food right now. That is insane. And if you zoom right out, you can see the ants march across the map, which is a beautiful sight.
100%. It is. It's great. I love. There's nothing better than Goth spam into late game Mongols.
Now,
that's why I love Goths. I love Goths are a fan. I love that. This civ. Good civ.
We do have real THF starting to conduct raids with his Step Lancers on the side though, so counter raids of his own. And you know, the Goths, as much as they can produce units, they do go to the meat grinder and just often end up perishing. So at this stage, it might be how effective you can control the units in the raids. Gearbear just needs to get on top of where do I need to strike with these Huskars, and do I need to mix in a few trebs and bombard cannons, or what else do I need to add to this ant march?
I think as much as you did lose a few villages, I think it's probably good for Gearbear to lose a few villages because now he'll have a big army spike now. He's getting chemistry now, which is really good. Would be good for BBC. I think BBC's good in this position.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real THF's holding quite well with the golf span.
Yeah. He did quite a good job of tracking down all those Huskarls as they kind of split up. But we have a Step Lancer right in the very left corner of the base, and we've got villagers trying to kill it. And that is not going to work when it has chainmail and is elite. So this Step Lancer is going to kill. It's killed 12 villagers so far. 13, but a halberdier gets him. So that's quite an effective raid for one guy.
Yeah, he's done well. But yeah, this fight, I'm not too sure how it will go for. Yeah, but I think it's
He's lost all the Huskarls. He does have 4 trebs.
It's all good. He got millions of them coming over. I love how it's just like, oh yeah, I killed him, and then just look at the map. I love the mini map.
Yeah, the mini map's hilarious. But he has left his halbs out to dry again. I mean, he's left the trebs out to dry. As these halbs are forward instead of helping the trebs. And actually, Real THF is going to do a counter treb push of his own with 5 trebs, so that castle's likely going to go down. So a bit of a reversal.
It's good that he's getting in this bit of a push back again.
And I think that's exactly the right move. You know, if you absorb a goth push, you need to push out before the next push comes. You gotta push back in the gaps in the swell.
Pretty much got to do a constant push, and as you're pushing, like this castle creep the map.
Yeah.
And like when the goth path in but it would be nice if Gearbear relocated his spawning points, because it's trickling in one by one.
Yeah.
Maybe even just put it out the front of the castle, because he's losing a lot of units, and that could have been a potential push. And Real THF is bringing this back, I think. Gearbear
certainly is.
Yeah.
Actually, he's losing this gold that he expertly walled in, but the Mangadai came over there to kill it, so he's off gold there, and he's actually on 0 gold right now. So Huskarls might not be a viable option going forward.
Yeah.
And that's another castle down.
Yeah, this could be a comeback.
I think it has to be. There are Huskarls raiding a little bit on Real THF's side. But we have some Hussars there, perhaps, to clean that up. Only 1 treb left now, though. So the THF's push is going to stall out unless he can get some more trebs over here. Or maybe a castle drop, as you say.
Yeah. I think where his trebs, like, as he was about to reset, I think if he put a castle there, I reckon it'd be pretty close to winning the game.
Yeah.
He just puts that castle there, then he can't push in. You can then have a good staging point to go in and out the base, and take control of that farming area and the TC. Yeah, I think overextension for for this trip.
Yeah, these Mangadai are aiming for it, aren't they?
Yeah.
But you know, there's no gold left on the map, so for Gearbear at least. So regaining those trebs could be difficult.
Yeah. Wonder what his relic count is. This is monastery. Did he make a monastery? Yeah, he did. There's 2 relics out the front, so
yeah.
just lost his monastery. But the push has been pushed back, and the Goth spam begins. He's regrouped properly, which I think that's where it was going wrong. But there's Hussars coming left and right, and I think this is the best way to play against the Goths, is what he's doing. Although the castles are coming in quite good, so...
That castle and that... He's only got 2 villages building it so far, that castle. But I do love the redirection of their point of attack to this wood line. I think that's really smart.
Yeah.
As you kind of secure up this other side. He does need more villages to build this castle, though. Otherwise, it could be a doubt castle.
Definitely. And even if, you get a mass here, and then send, a group of 6, and just run them straight in the back of the base.
Yeah.
Then once you're doing that, then it makes it difficult for army control for the opponent to then stall the push, because then he's got to go and clear all that up. Yeah, but the castles do make it quite difficult for the raiding, which is really good by Gearbear. And yeah, so...
Interestingly, there's this gold in the bottom right, south, that he didn't raid. I think that might be the only gold left on the entire map. So that's pretty crucial to actually get.
You got 1 gold pile down where, right in the south.
Yeah, no, that's the one Oh, the other one that's... Yeah, there is one surrounded by red houses that has not been taken.
Yep.
You're right.
Yep. So maybe even castling there just to get the gold, or even just stonewall a little bit, or some... Oh, you can't stonewall your Goths, but...
yeah. Interestingly, the line of attack for Gearbear is also changing. So now he's coming from the top. And that's where a lot of the economy is for real THF. But Gearbear's going to have to decide, does he want to go for these trebs that are now attacking another castle? I think he will. He's bringing Huskarls over. But will it be enough with all these pet lancers? I think they're just thrown away.
I think real THF has thrown a lot of gold units away.
Yeah.
A lot of gold units, and at this stage of the game, throwing in gold units is quite rough. And if you go full trash war, I do favour the Goths. 1, they can get it out quicker, and 2, their trash is a lot cheaper. Yeah. Throwing away gold units, you got to be careful at this stage of the game.
Well, he's throwing away a lot of stone right now as well on this castle repair. That I don't think he's ever going to save this castle.
Yeah.
So I might have saved that for even just selling for gold. But there's actually only... Yeah, go on.
As well, he did repair that, but what it did do is keep that army there, which THF was taking really bad traits there.
Yeah.
So I think while it was costly for Gearbear to do that, I think that was a good move, because he lost, I think, 20 lancers, which very expensive trait for just, real cheap halberdier. So.
And now we're on 0 gold for both people, for both players. So it is an all-out trash war. And like you said, Goths are just... I mean, we do have Hussars and skirmishers on the side of Mongols, so it's not terrible, of course. But, yeah. We'll see if this works out. But yeah, look at all this wood on the back, actually. There's 50 on wood at the back here, on the left-hand side. For Gearbear. That could be raided, eventually, with a couple of Hussars.
Yeah. But look at the villager count for Gearbear in comparison to THF. Like,
true.
That's a winning thing, and if he does hold, which I think he will, like, he's slowly pushing back. He is got more gold, so he's selling.
Here we go, this Hussar raid on the back though, coming through. So that villager count might not last.
Yeah, yep. I love it, the castle placements that he did for the wood. But yeah, the wood's running dry. He has got some in the back of the base, which would really help. Even if he just put some palisade walls, so then it's easier for him to react.
Yep.
But all these villages are just going into the death.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
And there's no halberdiers to save them either, so there's a lot. There's going to be a lot of dead villages. Mangadai coming back here as well. So yeah, the villager counters are almost flipped completely in favor of real THF now.
This is an insanely close game.
Yeah. And I think I've been thinking you've been in favor of Gearbear, I think I've been in favor of real THF, but it has been pretty much a 50-50 call. I would just I think real THF is doing the right thing now of not attacking Gearbear head on, especially with helps. He's just focusing on raids now. I think that's the way you have to play it. You got to choke out the economy game.
I think if he just raids him to death, now that and the play is called.
Yeah, well,
that was either player's game the whole way through.
I think maybe Gearbear was like, I don't have wood or reliable access to wood. He has got 100 in the bank right now, and thought, yeah, if I've got no wood, it's probably over.
Yeah.
But you did say that there is some in the back, but yeah, not reliable, I guess.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
All right, ravines. I love ravines. I think it's one of my more favorite ones of the tournament, even though we haven't seen it that much. But we have real THF on the Georgians, which is perfect for this map. The mobility. You see a lot of Magyars on this map. I think Magyars is like the #1 civ on this map, in my opinion. But Georgians, just as good. Just as good. Maybe even better. But they're always banned. But then, this is a bit of a confusing pick for me, Italians. So, Gearbear on Italians, are you able to explain this one to me? Because I'm not seeing it.
With having a lot of cavalry civs, having Italians on this map is actually quite good. I've seen it being played on this map on more 900 elo, but it did, like, the concept of him going into Genoese crossbowman was actually quite good against the player that he was playing against. So, and having the way that the resource collection set up makes it quite easy to go into feudal as well, and archers could be quite good. No, you haven't, like, most people are going to small wall on this map.
Yeah.
So small walling with archers, well, then it's not going to do very well. So it is very off meta, but I do think, like, if you play this out quite right, I reckon it'd be quite good. I have seen the Italians do quite well on this map, but
Hmm.
it is, yeah, it's very hard to get through feudal, but once you get to late game, it's actually quite works out quite well, especially if you get to Gembo and being, real THF with pretty much a lot of his civs. I think on the draft were Cav.
Yeah.
This is actually quite a, I probably looked at the draft and goes, well, okay, he's got a lot of Cav civs, so I'll just go into and Gearbear will have a lot better late game if he goes to late game, which he has been getting in, pushing all these games to late game
True.
with the cheap gunpowder. So late game they're a lot better. They still have decent cav as well, which is handy. They can get hussar, they can get arbalist as well.
Hmm.
Really good arb. So yeah, I think it'd be quite strong. They can go into scouts too, which is really good.
Yep.
Not that you probably wouldn't really want to go into scouts against maybe scouts just to pick vills off and then maybe get a couple of pikemen at home. Or even go into archers as well, one of the two. So I think it could work out well for him.
Hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, that's usually the combo I'd go as Italian Hussar and Genoese crossbowmen, but I'm just thinking for real THF, I think if I'm putting myself into his shoes, I'm thinking, okay, Italians, it's a bit weird. It's a late game combo that I don't want to see. How about I get like double or triple stable, brush him in Castle Age before he can get to a castle, we can't even get the Genoese crossbowmen. I kind of think that has to be the mindset for him going into this game if he's going to win.
I think too with as well with the Italians, they've got good monks as well. So
Mm.
And halberdier as well. Actually, they only got pike, but I mean they can add their own hussar and maybe even. So there is some options still. Like you said with the three three stables, that can be quite deadly for it. But I think they still have a couple of options up their sleeves if
Yeah.
that does that option arises. But yeah, I think this is if THF doesn't get any feudal damage, Gearbear doesn't receive any feudal damage, this can be a very even matchup.
Yeah. I think he has to kind of go into a scout rush here. I think it's almost mandatory for him to do that.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially with the Italian cheaper up cost. I think you got to get early damage, 100%. But and then yeah, Castle Age. If this goes to Imperial Age and Gearbear is allowed to sit quite comfortably in Imperial Age, then yeah, advantage to him for sure. But the map kind of also works to his favor in the sense it doesn't seem like it's that far away, but I think this is how the map kind of generates. But I've seen one of these games where these two ravines start so super close together, and these are a moderately far away apart. So that could work in Gearbear's favor to execute the strategy.
Yeah, Gearbear a little bit, real THF a little bit late to the stable, and we are seeing archery range.
Yep.
Which
Double archery range.
I think. Wow. Okay, this is interesting. I like this. I actually do like this. I reckon it's quite good. Because if Gearbear just walls off his small walls his wood line, he's safe at home. He's got double archery range. He's very unsuspecting, and I think out of all the feudal bays, is probably one of the most strongest by far.
Yep.
It's insanely strong. Once you get 7-8 archers with their full upgrades, they're pretty well near on unstoppable with good micro. Some spears as well. I like the spear edition coming out. He's getting the wood upgrade straight off the bat, which is really good for Gearbear. I like to see something different on this map.
Yes.
Instead of just seeing scouts all the time, we're actually seeing something. But there is scouts coming on here, and they can nice small walls. But yeah, this is.
Oh, he took out a villager and he's took out a spearman and he's missed this villager making this wall, so that's unlucky.
He was attacking the villager, and then he nearly got him, and then Gearbear did a pro strat small walls. But yeah, I like how he's just gone right. I'll get two couple of spears at home.
Yeah.
And the villagers and the spears will deal with that. And now he's going straight forward with his archers. Let's get more archers in. I'd like to see a blacksmith. So blacksmith's on the way.
Yep, there it is. So yeah, played to perfection so far, as we can see. So Gearbear obviously pretty skilled player, and I should say both of these players. This is the semi-finals, guys. The group started off with 20 players, and we're down to 4, and these two have risen to top 4. So they've both pulled off some pretty amazing stuff. And just as we see these archers run around a bit, and might get in the back here, but should say that I only cast Gearbear in the group stage, and he played against a really radical player 2, who did the most crazy castle drops. To his detriment, they always failed. So I didn't necessarily get a good read on Gearbear during that. But I could see at least that he was a really good adaptive player, because he would adapt perfectly to these crazy castle drops. But yeah. I guess we're seeing here that he's obviously he's got the strategic mind. He's got the ability to do the 150 villager boom, just like a super sound kind of player. And sorry if I'm going on a bit of a soliloquy here, but as I just contextualize these players a bit. REALTHF,
yep.
I have cast a little bit more of his games. I cast him in group stage, in quarterfinals, and now semi-finals. And I think the most interesting matchup was in quarterfinals, where he was playing against Chit being a super aggressive player, and he got really flustered when he was faced with something a little bit like this, actually, where you've got archers on your boundary, and perhaps there's going to be more coming. Yes, there's some trailing. So in the situations like this, he can get potentially a bit flustered in this feudal, early castle age kind of time. So I'm just interested to see how he deals with it this time around.
I love this play from. I love the double archer. To me, if you do the biggest feudal pressure, I think this is the strongest thing you can do by far. I've beaten so many people with just this alone in feudal, and this can be quite deadly. I've only really started learning it through training, but it's it's insanely strong, and yeah, it's lucky. Real THS have mill carts.
Yeah, true.
If he didn't, it'd be
He was thinking of just camping under the tower, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. The only issue with archers, but
I was thinking about it again, actually. He's just going to camp that tower.
Yep. And he'll take the tower out, I reckon. Or idle. How many villages? There's 5 idle villages.
Yeah.
It's got another group coming in now. This is great. Yeah, the skirmishes aren't going to do too much. They haven't got... So they got fletching. Yeah, he's going to have to get out of here.
Yeah.
But
Well, Gearbear, I mean, real THF isn't fully walled either, so these villagers are going to also die, and then now he knows that he's got an entry point.
I love this play from Gearbear. This is fantastic. 17 still lost a few archers, but he's got the villager lead. He's got three villager lead, and he's got a 1k resource deficit because of the idle time that he's caused with this. Yeah, this is massive amount of damage from Gearbear.
100%. If he gets on this other wood line as well, of course the tower's gone up, so doing another tower is not possible yet. He just needs to find another weak point. And sitting on the gold is not a bad idea.
All Gearbear needs to do is just run around the base, let the villagers move around, garrison, and while he isn't getting as much build picks, he's causing a lot of idle time.
Yeah.
Which is great. And I mean, he's still got a fair bit of build picks though. But yeah, the idle times would be is insane. But he is getting the skirm mass, which that's the thing too. Like, to counter this, you got to go into skirms, which delays your castle age time. Which now castle age is coming in.
Yep.
So.
And yeah, real THF is a mile away from castle, isn't he? Doesn't have any food in the bank whatsoever.
Yep. That's the beauty about this strat, because then you got to go into skirms, and you don't really want to be investing into skirms in the feudal because it delays your castle time.
Yeah, I wonder if we saw real THF just forego the scout production. You know, if he perhaps kept up with the scouts, I know scouts is a lot of food as well, but you know, you keep on picking off the small groups of archers so you don't have this massive group of now 21 archers, or 23 archers
Yep.
now. You know, instead of going into skirm, I think I would have preferred that, but
Yep.
hard to deal with, obviously.
I think double stable, get all your upgrades in, and try and get as much damage as possible, and just have even just, you know, wall like more than like really force it down, even with a bit of idle builds, and just get some, even just counter attack, like get more scouts and counter attack here as well could be good, or even just go archer scouts could be another way. Match the archers a little bit. Even then, it's pretty rough. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
To deal with.
Well, we've got Rams coming in now as well, so the pressure isn't going to stop anytime soon.
No, I like the Ram edition too, because he knows his opponent's not in castle, so there's nothing to counter the Ram. And yeah, mangonels are usually pretty good against. We'll probably see. I hope to see mangonel in the next one. He's going on to stone, so I wonder what we're going to see with that. I think he might be saving up for a castle.
I don't think he's not going to get there with 3 villages though. He needs to go harder there because the enemy's at the gate.
Yeah. I think Gearbear's not going to add any TCs, and I think he's just going to keep pushing and try to end the game right here.
Yeah.
Which I think is smart.
Yeah.
Getting Georgians away from late game is ideal.
Yeah.
Up in the farms.
It's interesting that we were like, oh, you know, if the Italians can get the late game, they can beat Georgians, but we've seen the complete opposite, haven't we? So
it's good to see.
Yeah,
it's good to see, look. You see so much scout. See archers? Nice, and to be in a semi-final, that's great.
Yeah.
To pull something out on the semi, bit of a different way of thinking, which is good.
So he's going to stick with the skirms, which I guess you've got the numbers of skirms. You want to use them effectively, but again, you're not necessarily using the full potential of the Georgians, are you, with the scouts? So
yeah,
Gearbear's done a nice job of keeping the Georgians off what they do best.
Yeah, forcing his opponent to play plays that you don't necessarily want to be doing, which is he's done a very good job at doing.
And now he's microing those archers to perfection against these skirms. Or he was. But he's got the... Well, he's actually doing a little dance in the front there with one of the archers. So he's crowning a bit right now.
Yeah. And he's got bodkin on the archers, which help a lot as well. Which now that the mass is down, like I don't think this game's gonna go for any much longer now.
No.
Yeah, it's looking pretty bleak. Mangonel, perfect. That's I think that was the next siege weapon I want, and 2 mangonels. Yep, this is perfect. This is exactly what you want to be doing, and yeah, this is looking GG.
It's taken off all that wood, all that farm, and yeah, has to be GG at some point soon. Because the economy is in tatters.
100%. You got 55 vills to 44. You only got 2 skirms and a mangonel getting produced at the moment. Against 34 archers.
Oh!
2 mangoes.
Mango shot of his own. And all gets a big shot there as well, but still probably won't be enough. A lot of weak archers in there now though.
Yeah.
Even so. The villager counters starting to spiral, and you've got well, apart from this gold in the very left, your resource control is limited. There's a tower providing a bit of cover on that side, and now they're relocating again as they see the archers come around. So villagers just walking back and forth, back and forth.
Yep.
And yeah, actually more villagers dead, and a mule cart. So just incessant here.
And Gearbear's 60 vils now to 41.
Yep.
I like Real THF's idea of coming out over here with a TC.
Yep.
I love his fighting spirit, like to stay in the game and go, right, okay, see how we go.
Semi-finals, you got to take every chance, right?
100%. So I love the fight for Real THF. Yeah, it's very rough. We got 500 stone. He's slowly getting his castle. With his...
Yep.
So I think... Well, soon. I think... Oh, we got the monk. Oh, the Italian monk. So cool.
Oh, Italian... Oh, wow. Here he goes.
Got a top hat. That's sick. Not a top hat, but a sombrero. He definitely looks like from the Vatican, that's for sure.
Yep.
Very, yeah. That's sick. And he's got black robes on the back. That's sick. That's awesome. He looks good in red too. Perfect.
He does look good in red. He's rocking the red. This TC gonna go down unless this other mangonel can do damage. And it takes out 2 mangonels. Takes out 3 mangonels, but the TC's down. And there's a full-on evacuation.
Ballistics in for... Got the Georgian monk. These monks look awesome. I love how they've made the monks look different.
Fortified church on the back, but... Yeah. I guess... Can he reboom? I highly doubt it, but there is a lot of space on this bottom corner of the map.
I think if Real THF, sorry, Gearbear thinking, right, my opponent hasn't GG'd yet, and I've pretty much destroyed his base. I think now he needs to think about like his scouting. I think he needs to scout a bit more, just to see if where his opponent is.
Yeah.
Um,
He is adding these other TCs as well, so good risk mitigation strategy. You don't quite know what's on the rest of the map, so play like normal and get the boom up, even though it looks like you're well ahead, which he is. But he is going to come down here and find this.
Yep. He's playing very well.
If he sees these town centres, as I just quickly change over to what he has scouted, he hasn't seen them yet actually, but that castle could be relocated somewhere else.
He's just about to build an outpost, and if that goes up, he'll see it.
Yep.
You go right. We'll go over there. But he's losing a few archers underneath that tower, and close to that tower. And he deletes the castle and goes, right, here's the 2 TCs.
Yep. Perfect.
Yep.
That's the exact right position, I think.
So outpost coming in clutch.
Also.
Can we see a church denial?
Well, this fortified church has gone up quick. And if it gets garrisoned, then... Well, I didn't realize they build so quickly. There's 2 up. The castle is basically nearly done though, so as quick as they did go up, it doesn't really matter. Mangonel in the back killed a few archers though.
Yeah, this is very rough for THF. That was a very good play to just go, oh yep, I can do a lot more damage with a castle right here.
Yeah.
That's very, very good heads up play from Gearbear.
Oh, and he's gonna find these villagers getting these deer as well, so REALTHF just hasn't had a break this entire game, I think, you know. Just everything he's doing is getting spotted and found out and taken down.
Yep. Gearbear's definitely played this well, and double archery range happening clutch. That's so cool. Good to see.
I did see, I can't remember the player. Somebody played Vikings on this map and it was the same kind of thing. I was like, why would you play Vikings on this map? But it was an archer kind of strategy as well, and he won the map. So, you know, maybe cavalry isn't king on this map, and I'm just in that old mindset. But there we go, the victory for Gearbear.
Yep.
All right, REALTHF on the melee. We love the melee. We both love to play the melee, so it'll be good to see what they can get up to on this map. Obviously, a good pick for this map as well. We've seen them quite a lot. But we've also seen Armenians on this map as well. And they've been... Well, to be honest, I don't think I've seen them win yet, but they have been popular, I would say. Yeah, Mule Card, of course, being a great bonus on this map that you can move it from tree line to tree line. If I just cycle over these 8 trees, there's about 1,200 on this wood line and 1,500 on this line. So you can run through that pretty quickly. You need to keep refreshing your wood camps. That's why we see Japanese on this map a lot, because they have cheaper lumber camps. But Armenians are that little bit better as well.
Definitely. Because you've spent that I think it's like 35 wood and 45 food or something like that, and you can use that for the rest of the game, and you can move it all around, and such a good unit for this map. Oh, good eco bonus for this map.
We also see what's key on this map is the cows. I always love to mention who gets to the cows first on the mainland, and it looks like it's going to be real THF here. He's already got 2 back, I think. Yes, just missed that one there. But he's going to have the early cow advantage.
Yeah.
Gearbear coming over
That's
as well. Good. Yeah. But you know the key part of the early game is I love it when you see each scout go over to the land bridge of the other player to deny the cows going over. We could see that for real THF. Again, a little bit unlucky missing that cow. But you want to plant yourself here with your scout to steal anything that the other player gets. Oh,
Yeah, I think...
Yeah, Gearbear steals a cow from real THF, so...
I think, yeah, Malay, I reckon, are a lot stronger Civ on this. Because of the faster up time. You got the cheap elephants, which you can get a faster up time with. That elephant rush can be quite strong in this map.
Yeah.
You've got, you can do a really fast archer opening with them too. You got the threes, the tech like for late game that does the arrows with the docs. Got Doc Vision, which
Yeah.
Dog Vision's insane with Malay, so you can find your fish really quickly with them. You don't really need to search for your fish with them. And yeah, I do Alley Wars. I do favour the Armenians with the extra bolt, but
yeah,
it's hybrid and you can get away with losing water on this map. If you got the
I've seen a lot of players just, you know, go for 4 fishing boats and let them die to a couple of fire galleys and then be like, okay, I'm done with water now, and just focus all on land. So even though there's all this potential food out here, for whatever reason, I feel like it is a hybrid map, of course, but the players just seem to go for land, yeah.
I did that on a set, and that was actually the set that one of my best sets, and that was against Jasumi. And he was the hybrid specialist winner.
Yeah.
Pretty cool for me to win against him. And I actually did like what you said, just did like 3 or 4 fishing ships. I was Berbers. I'd been picking, just so happened it was Berbers, which was perfect on this map. And yeah, just totally evacuated everything over to the other side of the map. Like, you know, 4 TC boom and just huss spam the whole map.
Yeah.
And that was barely with any he had a lot of investment in the ships and stuff like that, which, because I didn't go into water, was actually not good for him. So can be rough on hybrids, as you know. Yeah.
Here we go. Sorry, I was just going to say, we got some militia coming across the map. We usually see this from the Armenian player because of their infantry bonus. They can get long swordsman and feudal, which I've seen on this map before. Go for the long sword feudal rush. But we actually see this on the side for real THF, and I think this might actually be underrated because these militia, which will be soon men-at-arms, can come to these woodlines and be very effective, and if that doesn't work, you can go to the berries, which a lot of players end up going for, and We see Cal's stolen as well. So a lot of disruption here by Real THF.
And with Malay, they've got their armor for free too. So
Yes.
they got their first armor upgrade too. So they're quite a strong. It's actually quite strong for Malay to do this because they've already got their first up. They've got an upgrade for free. So you're really playing into the Malay, a Malay bonus, taking advantage of a Malay bonus, and he's going into archery range. So, because he is going archery range, that armor will actually work him well for him. So if
Yep.
he just adds some more, goes into archery range and goes skirm and skirm men at arms would be quite good.
Yep, true. Typically, I would go down to the berries now, but there's nothing on berries. I mean, there's stuff on a wood line down here. We're going to see a preventative tower go up on that wood line. But he's just hanging around this base. You can take out houses, of course, which is annoying. But, yeah, let's see how he responds when he sees archers.
He's got one archer out, but the men-at-arms taking out the archer, and
Yep.
yeah, this men-at-arm plays, I mean, really good. Thing is about men-at-arms, because it's so off-meta, like, a lot of people don't expect it.
Yeah.
Which is, the unexpected is actually the best play, or even suboptimal plays, which this isn't suboptimal, but there is plays that are suboptimal, but because they're so... like, that's the last thing someone's going to expect for a player to do. And because of that, it's actually quite effective. You don't see Malay do it.
No. And not even just two minute arms, he's gone for 4. So he's gone hard into it.
Yep. And he's got 5 bill kills, which is really significant. And by 26 bills, 32, they've definitely paid themselves off.
100%. And he's even got a fire galley back here too. So he's really got the variety going.
Definitely. Blocko's played it. I love, this set's been full of unique plays.
Yeah.
Which I thoroughly enjoyed. Things that we haven't seen, which we like to see.
Well, yeah, the risk for the tournament is that the meta at each bracket kind of gets figured out. You see all the same sets. But I don't think we've seen that at all in this particular set, with Mongols not getting banned, first of all, is different, because you see Mongols banned every single match. As we see these men-at-arms on the gold, they will finally go down. But Italians and then the Georgians also getting picked. They're usually banned. So I've seen a lot of different stuff.
And Italians betting Georgians on that map.
Yeah.
Which is pretty insane.
Very unexpected.
It was awesome.
Yeah. And actually, we're going to see Gearbear go for men-at-arms himself. So he might be thinking a long swordsman play. That's what I would be expecting, perhaps. Not sure. Take advantage of the Armenian bonus and get that. Good against skirms, of course. But usually you want to be on the front foot rather than be at the retaliation.
Gearbear's real THF is nearly up to castle age, and if he goes long swords, and if he does a quick tech switch, which the elephant, if he goes elephants, which we might not see, but we might see, this set seems to be bringing out all the... An elephant switch will be coming absolute clutch.
100%. And
now he's thinking...
He's got the long swords, so it is long swords. Yeah.
Yep.
If we see elephants, that would be perfect. 100% correct.
double elephants and then stop building anything but elephants wins the game.
Yeah.
But we haven't got any stables down yet, but I do believe he's just going to go into the archer play, which makes a lot of sense. Being Malay, and yeah,
Yeah. And if he's
you can always go Karam. Sorry.
well, this is on the new patch, right? So I haven't been paying attention, but I haven't seen how fast the infantry is because they're supposed to be the same speed as archers now. But even so, the archers still take up long swords before they even get to them. So
and they're cheaper too.
Ah, good point. Good point.
They're a lot cheaper now. With the new patch, so long swords and infantry are quite viable now, which is good. Haven't been viable for a very long time, so it's good to see infantry as an option.
Yeah.
So.
And you know they are keeping up with this group and they are getting hits on them, so it is having an effect for sure.
I think we'll see Armenians grow in popularity with this patch.
Yeah.
There's a solid eco bonus with cheap long swords in feudal, and they're fast. That's quite strong. You do see Castle Age coming in.
Yep. And the Malay are going to go into longswords of their own. So I've never seen this before. Both players going hard into infantry. So the patch is having an effect, isn't it?
Yeah. Late game, it'll be I favour them Malay.
Yeah.
Horse Levy. But they will have better infantry. The Armenians, if it's only costing food, then yeah, it will help for late game. So,
We do have a lone long swordsman on this bridge, land bridge, making himself a nuisance. And he could actually do a lot of damage by himself, but there are some red long swordsmen coming to take him down. So, yeah, it's just so weird to me seeing longsword versus longsword. I don't think I've probably ever seen that. Like, I've never seen that.
it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Should mention that Real THF has got a town centre on the other side, whereas Gearbear does not, because he's handling all this pressure, and he's not in castle yet, but let's see what it does now. Yep, he's going to put one down as well. But the army pressure is still present in Gearbear's base. And it's still killing villagers as well. It's actually got 10 villager kills. It's quite a lot.
Yeah, this is insane. So you got 52 to 36, which is pretty good. Good, eco lead for Real THF.
Look at that.
Definitely.
We've got two-handed swordsman now for Gearbear. So he's fully going into this for sure. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
Definitely. I love the switch from Real THF to just go right. We'll just go our crossbow, and just try and use mobility and range, which is good.
I think Gearbear is just having a good time, which I respect. Like, he's like, you know what, it's a new patch, it's Armenians, I want to try this, I want to do this, let's see if it works. But I don't think it's necessarily a good strategy, because they are just sitting here not doing anything.
I think if he just committed into, it's one of those things that like if he didn't build an archery range,
Yeah.
went straight into long swords and just kept committing maybe just add 1 or 2. Actually, wouldn't even add an archery range at all. They're fast enough these days to keep up with the archers, and just go straight full aggro into real THF space. I reckon you'd be in a world of trouble, but because of the transitions, I think it's not viable
Yeah.
At this point.
He is going to chase these archers off, though, which is crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah. He actually got a micro against infantry, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, the balance for the game has been off for ages because infantry just not being viable at all, other than a Dark Age men-at-arms rush, which is, we've seen that quite often. And then only an Imperial once you've got to take out trash, but nothing in between. So having long swords and two-handed swordsmen being actually useful, actually have a use case, that's great.
It's one of those strats you pull off to surprise your opponent because it's the last thing that your opponent thinks because it's not very good.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
But
now,
in all of this,
you can see it different now.
Castle coming in. That's not going to be contested, and it's in a pretty good spot. I like the spot. The contested TC, and then it's got 2 stone and a gold, and potentially another gold very close by. Very good spot for a castle.
Looking like we're going to see a bit of a fast imp from... Woohoo! Our monks look so cool.
Oh,
I've been
here they are, yeah.
the monks. That's awesome.
That is awesome. They're very minimalist, I would say, these monks. They've got a cool aesthetic to them.
Yeah. They're more the type of monk you see on the mountain.
Yeah.
Range.
And we've these castles will always surprise me whenever they go up, but I think that's the best castle I've seen so far. That's amazing. I love that one.
Yeah, it's perfect. Gives GG well played.
Woohoo!
Wow.
Okay, 2-2. Oh, okay. So I reckon that was almost like a complete flip of the last game, because we saw Gearbear just go super aggressive on ravines and really take a handle of that game, and then Real THF has just done the same back on evacuation. So pretty interesting, the back and forward in this series. And sorry, I should also mention that Real THF is in the chat. It says the new patch freaked me out, not having stuff figured out. Yeah, I can imagine. Seeing the two-handed swordsman and them charging your archers and it actually working, yeah, my mind would have blown up for sure.
Very well played.
Yeah.
Good to see Malay. I love Malay on that map.
Yeah, they're one of my faves. But yeah, I should say Gearbear Persians, very solid pick here, very reliable pick on your deciding match. Whoever wins this goes on to finals, which is amazing. Both players doing a great job to get this far. But Vietnamese for Real THF, also an amazing pick on the map. I think I predicted it, Vietnamese on this map, because no wood for your eco upgrades means that you can go eco upgrades and fishing ships. You can afford them both, and it's a really good starting bonus to have. And actually also underrated is knowing where your opponent's TC is on this map, because it can move around a bit. Doesn't have to be, as far as I know, you don't have to be directly opposite, right? Like you can be in that other quadrant in between the other 2 lakes from time to time.
And I think too, good as well. For the you're mentioning with the TC spot, it's good for like which ponds to take. You can figure out which ones I should go from, which ones I shouldn't, because as you'd know, they're always going to be in the same spot. It's just the TC location determines which ones are more optimal ones.
Yeah.
Now that real THF knows, yep, that's where the TC is, I'll go left and right.
Well, you could also figure out where he's gonna put his pond, right? So if you wanted to, you could use it defensively and offensively in a way. Because you don't even necessarily have to pre-scout it. You can just be like, yeah, it's definitely going to be in that pond. I'll head over there.
Yep. That's a point too. Yep. So yeah, I think Vietnamese, I reckon, very good pick. That's smart. And I think if anyone's going to give the Persians grief, it's going to be Vietnamese.
A villager never going down here to a boar. That would have been hard to see, heartbreaking to see. But it saves the villager last second. Yeah, sorry, you go on. I interrupted.
No, you didn't. No. I was just thinking. Sorry. No, you didn't interrupt. It's all good. Sorry. I'm tired and I groaned a little bit because I'm tired. Sorry.
Yeah, no. You're that. I'm super tired as well. I said I was going to talk about my boring workday, but I don't need anybody to be bored with that story.
No, I wasn't bored. I was just, I'm mega tired from today.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No.
Yeah, no, I wasn't bored at all. Sorry.
No. I was dipping myself really in my boring job. But I still favour Persians because as good as the Vietnamese pick is, and I think they're both top tier, I think Persians are that little bit better because if you are able to sustain, you'll obviously get the eco lead with the faster town centre and the faster docks. And if you're a good player as Gearbear is, protecting the eco lead is your number one priority. So making sure that nobody docks your lake, scouting out any potential rushes, because you can get rushed on this map if you just go into eco. Gearbear I think is like my default. Okay, he's in favor with the Civ matchup, but he has to play this really well to make sure he maintains the eco lead in a way.
Definitely, yep. I like to see that your THF's got a bit more. He's got a lot of uptime, but he's got an extra fishing ship on water, which is good.
Yep.
A little bit of an eco lead on that, and 22 to 23, that's standard, but I reckon it's even, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
For real THF to pull all that off.
We actually see a bit of revenge there for Gearbear. So Gearbear did a bit of a TC dive to kill some ducks, and he pulled the scout away just at the right time, and the arrows killed all the ducks for real THF. So real THF has been a real menace underneath Gearbear's TC, and I think Gearbear's got a little bit of revenge on him right in that moment.
I wonder what we're seeing from Gearbear. So we got barracks is coming up, so it'd be scouts, I believe. We haven't got the wood there yet. It's rough on this map, especially when you're trying to get the fish out and all the rest of it's tough to afford it.
It's a real eco management kind of map of squeaking out enough with what you've got, because you've got to manage both so well. I think fishing ships and land army and scouting. getting a villager to the
Yeah.
opposite lakes this is why it's my favorite map, is because it's whoever can multitask the best ends up winning. It's not about build for like I don't watch the hero videos where it's like build timings and you got to go up at 19 pop at this exact time. I'm all feel, and this is my map where it's like you can just feel out the
Yeah.
game and not worry about build orders all that much. They're still important, but it kind of goes out the window a lot of times on this map.
It's a good wagon rush map.
Bohemians, we're gonna see it eventually sometime.
I did it against T-Time.
Did you win the game
Yeah,
though? That's
30.
the main question.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, he had 30 fishing ships and I had 7.
He had 30 fishing ships?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I had 7. He committed to the fish boom, but because he committed to the fish boom, I had a lot of wagons.
That
It
is,
just castled the
that is
map.
too much fish on 4 lakes.
Yeah. He was fish trapping.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, so he was doing full Omega fish boom. Didn't have much farms, but he didn't really need it. But yeah, it was. Yeah.
Now, do you
Yeah,
think he was he memeing? Was he doing it for the stream, or did he think it was a good strategy? What was your feel?
I'm not too sure. I think he might in the expected the pressure I would bring on the like the type of pressure I was going to bring on that map.
Hmm.
I think he did go for like galleys, so he thought I was gonna put a dock on his and try to contest for
Right.
water.
Yeah.
But I knew that I much like his water plays I reckon a lot better than mine. I figured nah, I'm not gonna play water. His water plays better. I'm just gonna do a continual in. Deny resources on the map. So if I see a resource, I'd castle it.
Look at this. Actually, should say that there's a villager on this Gearbear lake, just waiting for enough wood to get a dock up while the skirmisher battle is happening in Gearbear's base. I think taking out these fishing ships up top is, like we said, you don't want to give the Persians their eco advantage. You want to take it away from them, and that's exactly what it's doing. It's going to be scouted out though by this fishing ship.
Question is he going to see it and is he going to start queuing up a fire? If he hasn't seen it and he does the fire, then which
I haven't done so yet.
fishing ship?
Oh. Oh no.
Okay. You'll soon find out that he's fishing with a friend.
Well, maybe they'll have some kind of truce up here, This is the collective grounds for both of our civs. We can compete on other lakes, but not this one.
Switzerland.
Yeah.
This is Switzerland. You can't fight me, I can't fight you.
Neither of them are making the move. And they're actually taking the same fish. So the fishermen in these boats are, looking at each other, waving, hello, how's it going? All is well.
Yep.
No, Gearbear. Gearbear's going to produce a fire galley.
He broke the treaty.
Broke the treaty. And more fishing ships are real dead ships, so they're just going to go down instantly.
Oh. So, this could have been an awesome sneak dog if he realized, oh no, there's a red fishing ship. Maybe he's got a select all dock hop key, and that's maybe the
Yeah.
reason why he hasn't seen it. Maybe the reason why that he's hasn't seen it.
Well, he'll know now.
He will know now.
um,
Okay, it's only been two ships, so
yeah.
he's probably thinking with the TC maybe might have taken the right hand side. Maybe, I'm not too sure.
Well, it's interesting that it's the Vietnamese player that's gone for the 3 legs, and the Persian player's only gone for the 1. I would have thought it would be the other way around, perhaps, with the faster producing docks. You can really rack up a good eco lead that way. But having said that, there's a lot of pressure on the front of Gearbear's base with a couple of knights and skirmishes, so he's got what he needs to be able to pull this off. Or get him off this goal.
He's got 7. He's got 7 on stone, so I think he's going to do a castle follow-up with some rattan archers, which would actually be quite good. Knights rattan archers, I think that would be quite devastating, especially at this stage of the game for Gearbear against Gearbear.
Yeah, I mean, the knights have gone only TC those, which is, I think they must have been lured over there, maybe not intentional.
Yep.
And actually with another monk coming out, yep.
He's a cool monk.
Nearly dies, but high from TC. That's an awesome monk. God, the aesthetics, what they've done is just incredible. I love it. And it's not like it's even like, it's not high resolution graphics, but I just love the style of the units. It's just so cool. I don't know what it is about them, but I love it.
Yeah, the patches that they've done is they haven't changed the game. They've integrated with it, which is with other games they've done it the reverse, and it completely destroys the game. It's good to see that they've got developers that understand what people want.
Yeah.
And follow accordingly. It's good to see. The DE team does a fantastic job.
Amazing.
It's the best thing.
Yep. And I want to see REALTHF drop this castle because I want to see the Vietnamese castle. Is it the original castle or is it something new?
Yeah, not too sure. I'd be curious, like you said, I'd be curious to see what he's... I think we're about to see one shortly. The villages are on the migration of doubt. Well, hopefully not doubt. Doubt's calling. But maybe might not be a doubt castle. I don't think it will.
Nah, he's got the knights, so that should be enough for the skirmishes.
Yeah. I do like this castle.
It could be slightly more forward. He could still pull it off a bit more forward. But I think it does the job with getting him off gold. If he's got Bodkin, so does that range? Probably does.
Range is a little bit of it, but it's a good staging spot for his siege. Oh,
yeah.
Look at that castle.
There we go. Love that. That's amazing.
Sorry, I was a little bit... that's an awesome castle. Yeah, that's cool.
And... only if we were playing... Only if it was the Koreans, I was thinking, actually, are we going to get the Nest of Bees? But that's the Koreans and the Chinese. So it's still the Mega now for the Vietnamese.
Yeah.
So we won't see that. That will be a little bonus for a different game, or when I play a game myself. But in the eco here a bit, but there are Gearbear Knights, 5 of them, coming through. It's got to target the skirmishers though, so the villagers are left exposed. Don't know if that was the right prioritization. I would have gone for the things taking out my eco. But it should be taken out.
I love the rat and archer play. Once he gets a
Yeah.
good mass of them, I think it's going to be quite hard for him to stop. Love to see some monastery put down too. 3 or 4 monks with this push would be really good. From real THF. The night masses are getting quite big.
Yeah, that's a lot of knights.
Oh, and villagers get clicked. Must be an accidental drag. I used to do that. It's not good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until my friends changed, you can change it so when you click the villagers, it only clicks your idols, not all of them.
Oh, yeah. Instead of all of them, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what's happened.
I was just about to say that, yeah, I'd be trying to raid the enemy's base with that castle on my face. If you got 14 knights, you can do a lot of damage and take the pressure off you and take it back to the opponent's base. So I love this move by him.
Yeah.
But he needs to get a wiggle on though, because castle's going up. You'd have to get through these palisades. You don't want him to build up these pikemen. I was about to say, do they have the shock infantry? No, they're still got the pike.
It does get through the hole, which is pretty good, but I think he needs to kind of, yep, and he's doing the right thing. Going right, let's try and get vills that are not underneath a TC. It's quite handy, and
that house won't stay out for very long either.
Yep.
Oh, and actually they're in.
Because he pressed his own garrison, he back to work hotkey, and yeah, he kind of stuffed his. This is very well executed from Gearbear.
Yeah, very. And that's a lot of dead villagers. 31 dead eco.
He has got this castle up, so all Gearbear needs to do now, he's got enough gold here. I think if you need to get a little bit to the left, maybe claim that little 2 tile. I know that's not much, but it's something. Maybe even claim. He is going to run out of gold, but he has got this side gold right here. But yeah, I think, and as I was thinking, Imperial Age is going to Imp, which is the right call.
Agreed.
So playing defensive, going into Imp, he'll be able to push his castle. Very well played by Gearbear to do this.
The Persian castle as well. Beautiful. Couldn't let that go by. But these knights have killed 18 villagers now.
You got, I think real THF had 20 Vill lead, and now it's the reverse.
Yeah.
So the Vill lead's done the reverse, which is awesome. Beautiful army control from him. Got a lot of value out of those knights. And he's just going spamming knights.
Oh, straight through the walls as well. There's still a mangonel on this TC though, unprotected, which is interesting. But these knights in the back of the base are just such a nuisance.
Yeah. Now he's got to have army in the back. Can't focus on the front. And Imp is up for... Imp's on the way for real THF, but the first treble will come out, so he will win the treble. I wonder if he goes chemistry straight away. I think whoever goes chemistry has a big advantage.
Yeah.
And also, cannons would be really good. I wonder if... we get hand cannon. You do get hand cannon for Gearbear, so maybe adding some hand cannon in for the pikes.
Yep.
Would be really good. Even just some. Nah, actually, Persian skirms are pretty garbage. But hand cannons would be good.
A lot of these knights going down to these pikes, which is not ideal. They are Cavalier now, though. Would have liked to seen him save that mass a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing that Gearbear could do is they get heavy scorpion.
Yep.
Chemistry's coming in, and he is dropping ranges, so I think he's going into hand cannons, which is the right call.
Yep.
You got the Cavalier to take out the skirmishers and the ratons, and then you got the hand cannons in the front and then you got BBC just to kind of like get some really good shots in full groups of, you know, ratons and that. So Gearbear's doing calm collectively, although these pikes are...
They're taking out this trap, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking as well, if you go into hand cannon here, we don't see it very often, but Imperial Skirmisher, could that be any good?
Yeah. Yeah, it would be good if he goes into that. I think if you can kind of quiet your HC away from your skirmishers and then just dive in when it hits the bar, or your Cavalier to dive in for that, I think could be good.
Oh, sorry, I just want to point out that there's a fire lancer in the back of the base. Which is the first time I'm seeing this unit. Do you see it?
It's pretty sick. Yeah. It's got 3 charge attacks. It shoots. Then after that it's... attacks normally. It's very different.
Very
It looks
different.
awesome though.
Still can't quite figure out... Like, they look very powerful, but I don't know what they counter and what they're bad against. I know they're good against cavalry, of course, but just exactly how they function,
Yeah.
I've got a lot to figure out with that unit.
They are super bad. According to Spirit of the Law, they're really bad against it. Men-at-Arms.
Okay.
So, champion eat 'em, pretty much. So,
Got these traps
that's all I
creeping forward, which is a bit concerning for Gearbear, because his economy is trapped into the back of this base. So he really needs to stop this push, and with these skirmishes here, although they're going down pretty quick, both sides are going down pretty quick in terms of units. But this needs to be stopped, and I would quite like to see the Cav deal with this, but they're on the other side of the map.
yeah. Yeah, I think if the Cav was home, it would be a lot better and just focus on getting the push out. But you still got a decent villager lead. And
Yep.
it looks, but maybe even just expand out to the left-hand side. It's the only part that he's got as far as map control.
Looks like these
Do you
Cavs will
like
go
to see
down as
anything?
well.
Yep. Now I wonder if we see BBC, but we have got Imperial Skirmisher in.
Yeah, we do. Just need to group them up rather than send them to their death. But I'm a bit concerned for Gearbear's long-term economy here, because he does have 2 piles of gold, but
Yeah.
again, he's really trapped into this one side of the map.
Yeah, definitely. I think he needs to find some value off the left-hand side here.
Yeah.
He does need stone. That's something that he is lacking a lot. Even if he really needs to push his castle, the castle from Real THF is actually a very, very, very strong castle. It does deny a majority of the map, which makes it quite rough. But I think if Real THF kind of just swings to the left-hand side. Do you have any gold on this side? Yeah, there's a little tile, 2 tile gold on the left-hand side here. Maybe even just try to expand to the left and then come on the opposite side where there's no castles.
Yep.
And try to push where the eco is. I think that would be a good play for Gearbear. Which I think he is. I think he's kind of... You can see that he's got his hand cannons in the eco now, which is really good.
Yeah, it's this little raid is doing wonders. They've killed 30 units, so this is crucial.
Yeah.
Again,
like this,
yeah. Sorry, I was just saying that you need to get this Imperial Skirmisher number up to deal with this, rather than have these little groups of 3 and 4. You need to get like 10 together, and this is cleaned up pretty quick.
Definitely, 100%. 1 or 2 is not going to do too much to him.
Wow. GG called. So I was expecting a little more fight on, but I guess the left-hand side had these halberdiers raiding economy. Gearbear had a lot of food in the bank, but not a lot else. So I guess maybe it was a resource thing of like, what do I do resource-wise? No more
gold.
gold.
Been a rough set.
Yeah.
You'd have been so tired after this set.
The games went pretty long, didn't they?
All of them did. A few of them didn't. The last 2 didn't, but
yeah,
there's 2 games that were really, really long. Well, 3 of them, I think. But it was really good.
I mean, the Mongol Goth one was the big one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I reckon my favorite, I like the Ravines game.
Yeah.
Where we saw Italians and 2 archery range, which I kind of was thinking a while back that it might be good. And to actually see it into play, it was really, really good to see. And with a good Civ too, like I was thinking Dravidians. I reckon if you can pull it off with Italians, that would be awesome, which he did, which is really good.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Congratulations.
Yes. Sorry, I should be saying congratulations to Real THF. He didn't have the oh, sorry, I should be, because we have Real THF in the chat. I felt bad about the lame this game. So he did lame a couple of ducks. I think it might have been 3 ducks in this game.
Yep.
Or was that Gearbear? I can't remember. This is all a blur. I've been cutting so many of these games, so the games run together of who lamed who. I think it was actually Gearbear that lamed Real THF in this game. So apologies, Real THF, you're probably talking about the previous game, which you did do a lame. But yeah, what was I even talking about? I was going to say that the first 2 games, really even, and well, I guess fortified clearing, I feel like Gearbear was in full control. Second game was the closest in terms of Mongols versus Goths. And then we had Ravines, right? Total domination by Gearbear. Then total flip the script evacuation. I felt like Real THF had a real stranglehold in that game. And then this game, I think, it just... I reckon that I think you're right. I think both players were probably pretty tired, and this one plodded along in, maybe not in a super aggressive style that just kind of was what it was. Real THF got the castle on the front here, denied all this gold. Gearbear in a corner. And yeah, didn't have the position to push out. So
They both played well, even to the end. It was a very action-packed game.
yeah,
Games.
yeah.
It was really good.
Well played to both players, and congrats again to Real THF making it all the way to the finals. Congrats and good luck. But yeah, it is 11 o'clock here. I might call it. These semi-finals, they go for 5 games. It's a long cast. I'm loving it, but I'm completely drained by the end of it. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was good. It was awesome. I quite enjoyed that. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. And yeah, thanks again for agreeing to cast with me on my little tiny channel. But yeah, you're always welcome to cast with me in future tournaments. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, so thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, I will leave it there. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me, and we'll catch you next time. So actually, before I go, I should say, I said it before, Back in Black will be covering the other semi-finals if he can. Don't know if the replays work. We think they work. He's saying that they won't work. Anyway, he will probably cover the other semi-finals, and then he will cover the finals most likely as well. So find out who Back in Black is if you don't already know him, and see Real THF in the finals. Won't spoil the semi-finals, which has already been played on the other side. But Real THF will be playing whoever wins that semi-final. So yeah, just check out Back in Black's channel for the remainder. But I've very much enjoyed casting the brick bracket. It's been amazing. First time streamer, first time covering a tournament like this, and yeah, love the support and all the good words. So thank you so much. And yeah, thank you, Grapejuice. Right, we'll catch you guys later.
See it. Bye.